For my background, I've mixed up a combination of some of the colors I already had here with a little yellow and blue to give it a green tint. I'm going to keep it really gray-green, quite muted, but the green gives the indication of trees, grass, natural habitat. And I go around the edge, adding some variation, lighter and warmer in some places and cooler in others. On my list of colors here, I've got turquoise blue listed, but I actually haven't used that in this painting. I haven't needed it. It's a color I will often add in a subject like this, but it just didn't seem to need it for this one. And I use the soft brush with a little bit of linseed oil to go around the edges. And once I get my edges defined, I'll go in and use a little bit of a, or like a bristle brush, that number 4 bristle brush that I've listed. And I go around the edges partly so I can refine everything really nicely, but also so that I can have some freedom when I go to put in the rest of the background. Without having to worry about coming in close to the edges. Easy to push the paint back and forth. One of the reasons it's nice to work wet and wet. I'm trying to not bump my camera here, so I need my maul stick to get in a little bit closer. Working my way around, one little step at a time. A little bit of a touch of light hitting the ears up here. That seems to have disappeared. There we go. And so now I will pick up my brush, the Filbert brush. If I can find the one I told you I was going to use. There we go. And just apply the paint quite loosely. Sometimes letting it, the background and the horse blend together almost. And I can scrub it on first and then apply it more smoothly, or I can just brush it on, whichever seems to be the best at the time. Just dipping back and forth into some of the variations of color, just slightly different here and there. Because this is turning into a fairly large area of solid background, I might throw some knife work in for interest. Let's soften that up there. Well, so that fills in the background, but it could get quite solid looking without a lot of variation. So sometimes just a little bit of texture from a palette knife is all you need. And I can also mix in just a tiny bit of some of the other colors from around the painting, like the brownish color. And because I have my paint pre-mixed, it's not hard to do something different if I don't like what's happened. I can change this even though it looks like I'm slapping paint everywhere. I can still at any time go back, knowing I've got the paints there to do it with. Sometimes having a bit of the color from other areas just ties it together a bit more. And you got all the paint there, you may as well use some of it. Trying not to make it too even, just some different textures here and there. And there we go. Painting is done. I will look at it a little bit and see if it needs any finishing touches, but basically this one is done.